Yes.
So what do you mean?
We're talking different things. We're talking. This is the where we're just on the edge of feeding back in the room.
Okay, that microphone is acceptable. It's not the best, but it's acceptable. That one, I feel some echoes, but it's acceptable too. It's
okay.
Hello, everyone. Did you hear me?
And this is me on the other.
Hi, Martina. Can you hear me? How many chairs for today? 4? Plus the stools? Okay.
Did you say, Roberto, we've got 3 guests and 1?
No, she said 4 guests.
Okay.
No, okay, but we managed 4 guests with 2 mic.
Yeah,
we need to find the best mic.
We've put in 4 receivers in this room on the stage.
4
receivers.
Okay.
4 microphones. So one's a headset, and we have 3 others, independent of the house system, because we've had problems with that, and we're going to.
For today, we can leave 2 mic.
Yes.
Here they can.
Yes.
So it's better than have 4.
Yes.
We have 2 mic here.
Absolutely.
The podium and the headset.
Yes.
And the headset's working well.
Yes. If you're happy with that, that's a good idea.
Yesterday the headset was very perfect.
Good. Oh, thank you.
If the interference, if the sound gets too bad, this is what it will look like if we turn off the light.
I need to have this guy.
Then you will have the bad audio.
I need to have this guy.
But it's a very high frequency. We might be able to reduce it.
If you change your mind, the lighting guy, just do like that, he will turn off the sky.
We know, but it's better if we start with the sky, with everything, and then
change
we need just
okay. Giovanni, you could probably lose these mics now. We're about half an hour off, and I wonder if you want to re-battery or decide. What we want up here are 2 handheld mics and a headset. No, we don't want to do that. But how the... I mean, that's just a typo, isn't it? We don't want to save it to a USB. Hang on, because that's looking for that, but we want to come out and save it in the desk. Yeah. No, that's for playback or recording on USB. Well, earlier it came up with save or... Let's just try and come... Doesn't this annoy you? Well, no, we're right. We haven't put one in. I don't know. Here was a box that recall or save. Maybe we just need to take that off. What's that? No libraries. Yeah, we need to come out of the USB. No, they're all greyed out, so I'm sure if we go into that, which is fine, but... Oh, this is so annoying. That is really annoying. There must be an easy way of doing it. Yes. Oh, here we are. Just press scenes. We're doing the wrong thing. Because we were in the USB. Just press scenes. Go into that one. Store. Yeah, that's the difference. We were in the wrong thing. So if you want to store that. Well, yes. But what you can do here is if you go in there. I'm assuming... I'm going to turn this off for now and I'll rig the guy and then I'll go into the booth. Okay? While you play with the desk. There's always a way around these things. It's just...
Sound check, sound check, 2, sound check. Sound. Hey, sound. Sound check. Good morning, everyone. Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. Hello. Sound check. Hey, 1, 2. Sound check.
Grazie, grazie. Oh, I do not grammar route, so I'm very nervous. Thank you. Yeah. No, perfect. Perfect. No, perfect. Perfect. Thank you, sir. Oh, perfect. Okay.
What about your collar? They're not buttoned down?
Yeah. Elegant. Thank you so much. Okay. Now I understand.
Wonderful. Have a good show.
TV host. Perfect. I'm a journalist, but now I have a TV show about space. Yeah, for the national broadcaster in Italy. It's called Rai, and yes. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, yeah. For Rai, yeah. Okay. Leonardo aspettare ancora 5 minuti. Avrebbe molto senso, esattamente, perché è quello. Good morning and welcome. There's a lot of people, a lot of students connected online. Thank you for being here. My name is Emilio Cozzi. My job is to write about space, but today I'm here to welcome you to TEC 2021. What is it? In my opinion, it's a concrete step into the future. But to talk about TEC, we need to take a step back in history, in time. 60 years ago, in October 1961, Italy saw the birth of Telespazio, a company that set out to be a pioneer in the fields of satellite telecommunications. In 60 years, Telespazio, now part of Leonardo, has not only become a global leader in telecommunications and satellite services, it has anticipated people's needs and developed the answers. In one word, Telespazio has innovated. TEC, Telespazio Technology Contest, is an initiative promoted by Leonardo and Telespazio to enhance university research activities within an open innovation process. This process is part of Leonardo's overall ideas factory. TEC is open to all students, PhD students and researchers from university departments wishing to work with Telespazio and Leonardo on innovative technological themes in the space sector. After 2 editions, I can finally welcome you to TEC 2021, here at the Italy Pavilion of Expo 2020, Dubai. So, welcome. To kick off, I will give the floor to the hosts. I want to welcome on stage Sultan El Zaidi, Principal Engineer, Space Missions Departments, United Arab Emirates Space Agency. Welcome, Sultan.
Hi everyone. First of all, just like to say it is a privilege for us, an opportunity for us to be part of this initiative. As mentioned by our colleague, that 60 years ago there was a governmental think about putting a platform for the technologies, and today it is the role of the companies to push for that technologies to be a reality. For me, as a member of the committee of the evaluations, I wish everyone all the best. And we will do within the evaluations committee and the rounds to give you a fair and the positive feedback, which is helping you to go out with the more confidence, with more dedications within that will let your solution come to the reality with the availability of the full support from Leonardo. It is a privilege to be part of this committee and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Sultan. Thank you. Thank you. It's now time to get to the heart of TEC 2021. There is no one better to do this than the next guest. I invite Luigi Pasquali, Leonardo Space Activity Coordinator and CEO of Telespazio, to take the stage. Welcome, Luigi.
So, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for being here for this important moment for Leonardo and Telespazio. Who deals with our sector, space sector, knows perfectly that innovation is not an option. And this is not only true for startups or newcomers. It's definitely very much important for very established companies like Leonardo and Telespazio. Just to remember for all, Leonardo is one of the largest aerospace, defense and security industries in the world, definitely the largest in Italy. And with a dimension of more than 13 billion turnover and 50,000 people at work, a large presence in Italy, in the UK, in Poland, in the US, in many other countries, with large number of subsidiaries and joint ventures like Telespazio in the group, Leonardo today is in front of the need of enhance the innovation for his product policy. And Telespazio as well. Telespazio is a joint venture which has created one of the most important players in the world. We are very satisfied and proud of that. Working in services and applications in the space domain, And then, of course, we have in front of us, we are active in 9 countries in the world, largely in Europe, in Latin America, with a clear global vocation. So then we are in front of us a very transforming market, increasing demand, but also new things that are coming up in what is called the new space. So then, for us, it is not a matter of dimension or well-established companies. Innovation is essential. It's essential because in the space sector we have a number of outstanding challenges in front of us. Let's see, for instance, that we have in front of us a new era of exploration. Exploration today is clearly focusing on the near space in a way to create possibly very soon on the moon a sustainable inhabitant environment. We have in front of us challenges on the side of satellites. Satellite technologies is going to transform in a way to respond to a number of needs that imply the need of, generally speaking, sustainability. So in a way also recyclable things, but also modularity, solutions that may help and open in-orbit services that is a new frontier to manage what is happening in space, which is an operating environment, so a place where we will operate for several purposes. We have in front of us challenges because there is a large number of services and applications that may be created to serve the needs of different vertical markets: defense, intelligence, emergency management, sustainability, which is one of the most important aspects that we need to face here on the Earth. And by the way, also on the space, because also space, particularly the near space, is a scarce resource that has to be protected to avoid mistakes that maybe we have already done on the Earth. So, great challenges, the answer is innovation. And the answer is innovation, but we consider that the approach has to be a collaborative, multidisciplinary approach. This is the word, collaborative, multidisciplinary approach. This is the concept that Leonardo and Telespazio have chosen to manage those challenges and the innovation that is related with. And this collaborative, multidisciplinary approach is at the end what we normally say as open innovation. The open innovation is also the creation of a network of young people, different mindsets that may help in thinking out of the box and working really looking ahead in the technological development. This model that Leonardo and Telespazio have chosen, of course, includes a number of different actions. For instance, the participation in business incubators, in a way that we may help startups, we may creating a networking and technological addressing assistance to startups that are at the edge, of course, of new things that may put at disposal of a new offering and managing the innovation in space. The other dimension is the financing of cutting-edge companies. There are a number of examples, but for instance, I make an example. Telespazio, together with the sister joint venture Thales Space, we have invested in a startup, a Canadian startup, which is creating a very innovative model to look to the space, from the space, starting protecting the space, as I said before, as a scarce resources from the large number of things that are populating and that to be creating the need to enhance the protection, so the space traffic management, the space domain awareness. And finally, TEC. Today we are here to launch the Telespazio Technological Contest 2021, This is not the first edition. We have already activated this model of opening innovation, which is the creation of a network between young people, academia, and ourselves, the industry, in the different domains, in a way to put together all the best that we all can create. This is a very important moment for us. Today we launched the TEC in 2021 in this wonderful framework of Dubai Expo in the Italian pavilion. So we are very proud of being here for this purpose, and then of course it will be one of the important steps of Leonardo and Telespazio to afford the future. In a way, what we create with TEC are the legs of our future. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Luigi. It's time to highlight certain aspects of TEC 2021. TEC is open to participants from the STEM sector. It will be possible to participate individually or in groups, and also to establish partnerships between departments of different countries at university and of different participants with different skills. We will now talk in more detail about the contest, with leaders, with the leading players involved in the innovation being driven forward by Telespazio, Leonardo, and the United Arab Emirates Space Agency. So, I would like to welcome on stage Michel Lavagna, full professor at Politecnico di Milano. Michel, welcome. We can applause. Grazie, Michel. Marco Brancati, Telespazio Chief Technology Officer. Massimo Claudio Comparini, CEO of Telespazio Alenia Space Italia. And Pierpaolo Gambini, Leonardo Senior Vice President, Innovation and IP. Welcome on stage. Pierpaolo, a question for you. What does open innovation mean for Leonardo, and how is it developing?
Okay. First of all, thanks to all of you attending this event. Both you that are... Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's better without the mask, sorry. Okay, first again, thanks to all of you for attending this event in this wonderful pavilion. Thanks to all the people that are connected from several countries in the world. So it's a pride for us, you to join this contest. Well, let's see if it works. Oh, the one before. Open innovation. Mr. Pasquali told you the importance that open innovation has for a company like Leonardo and Telespazio. Try to imagine that we invest more or less 1.6 billion euros in R&D activities. We have more than 9,500 guys and girls that work in our engineering department. So it's a huge mass of brain, but they are not enough to success. We need to have information, ideas, support from the external world. Open innovation now is a buzzword. Yeah. It works only if it's deeply integrated with the technology strategy of a company. How is it integrated in Leonardo? You can see that, of course, our North Stars is our master plan for our strategic master plan, in which we have identified which are the domain, which are the product, the service, and the solution that we think may be useful for us and for our community, for our stakeholders in the next future. How we can reach this objective, this strategy? Thanks to our portfolio of solution, product, and services. We need to grow with this portfolio, so we need to make investment. But once we decide to make an investment, the first thing is let's see what we are able to do. So we do a technology appraisal. Every year we map more than 400 different technologies with different level of maturity. And we see these technologies, which is their status as is and to be. But we cannot invest directly in more than 400 technologies. It's almost impossible. So we have different strategy. We have defined the technologies that has to be invested internally, thanks to our division, to our companies. For technologies that have low TRL, more innovative, transversal, we established the Leonardo Labs that are central research centers strongly related to universities, young talents, and so on, that are going to develop the most innovative technology for us. Looking to 2030, this is our goal. And we have open innovation. Open innovation, so as I told you, is correlated, is integrated in our governance. And as Mr. Pasquale said, is composed by several different aspects. And you can see that are more so, for me, from my point of view, of course, internal research and development are the same importance than open innovation and same importance than innovation neighbors. Open innovation, of course, are dealing with university, collaborating with them, dealing with startups, incubator, innovation ecosystem, dealing with supply chain. We are looking, and we do activities to select the most innovative companies that are part of our supply chain, are partners rather than suppliers, and we invest with them in innovative activities, and this is open innovation as well. But it's more important, all the things that support this activity. Otherwise, a buzzword. You need to get information from the outside world, so you need to get that this information has to be disseminated within the company. Open innovation means talk between us. We need to make contests with them. Third-party contests like the TEC, of course, contests towards startups, contests towards third parties. We are some accelerators, internal accelerators. It's quite important, the STEM. We just launched a program in Italy that is called STEM Labs, that is to promote our technologies to the secondary school student, because we need that our student will love the STEM, because they probably, I hope, they will decide to apply for a university STEM, so engineering, chemics, mathematics, and so on. This means that in the future we will have more engineers, more mathematics, more physics. More or less, moreover, as we said, we are more or less 50,000 guys worldwide. This is a huge number of brain. So we need to get value from our internal open innovation. So we do internal contests, like Innovation Award, like Call for Entrepreneurship, that is being based to how we can use my current technologies, my current product in different domains to make different business solutions. We need to disseminate all the things that we do internally, Polaris World. And last but not least, of course, all these are nothing if you not take in consideration the opportunity that this moment digitalization will give to you, if you do not consider the sustainability, and if you not consider how you can protect and how you can valorize your intellectual property. Thanks.
Thank you, Paolo. Marco, talking about TEC, can you explain the history of the contest, its purpose, and this year's themes?
Yes, thank you, Emilio. I would say let's go into details about the characteristics of the initiative. So as already pointed out, TEC is an open innovation initiative, which is supported by Telespazio and Leonardo. And the purpose is to come closer to university and to enhance the research activities in space which are performed by universities. As said, this is the third edition, actually. The first edition was organized in 2019, and at that time it was limited to Italian universities. In 2020, it was enlarged to European universities, while this year, thanks also to Leonardo's support, we are here in Dubai, of course, and the initiative is open to universities from all over the world. Just a few figures that had already been presented during the initial presentation. Actually, in the first 2 years, we had 125 participants, 20 universities, actually 30 different departments, from 15 different European cities, and an overall of 37 innovative projects were presented. Which are the goals of TEC, actually? Let's consider that it is true this year, but it was true since the very beginning. As first, as said, we want to promote technological development and innovation, cooperating with young students and researchers, of course. We want to carry out the relationship of Telespazio with the university environment, of course. But as also mentioned by Mr. Pasquali, what is important is that the contest focuses on a multidisciplinary environment, of course related to technological themes which are more strategic for Leonardo and Telespazio space activities. Sorry, I didn't move the slides timely. Okay, concerning the participants, it is important to be underlined once again. It is open to students, either graduated or undergraduated, in the STEM subjects. So STEM stands for science, engineering, technology, engineering, and mathematics, PhD, but also researchers from universities all over the world. As pointed out during your presentation, it is open to single participants, but also to groups. Yeah. And the groups can be made by students belonging to the same department, belonging to different departments from the same university, belonging to different departments from different universities all over the world. So that's really, really open to everybody. Okay, let's see which are the steps of this contest. As first, let's remember which are the topics. Actually, in the first 2 years, the topics were related to Telespazio technological themes, as presented in our technological plan. But this year, considering that we had the opportunity to present the contest here in Dubai, during the Expo, and particularly during the Space Week, we decided to focus on 4 subjects, which are the topics addressed this week. But by the way, these are 4 of the, however, technological themes addressed by Telespazio. And so, space exploration, in-orbit servicing, geoinformation related to applications and service platforms, and space situation awareness and space traffic management. These are the steps, and the first phase, considering that, however, the level of innovation of the initiatives has to take into account, of course, the enabling of hardware and software technologies in the different projects, to take into account, of course, that it is important to verify the possibility to use algorithms in the specific tools, and also, of course, the system view is important as well. The steps of the first phase is the launch we have today and a deadline. The deadline for the presentation of the proposal, which is fixed for November the 14th. So the way to participate is to go on the web, particularly to www.telespazio.com, to download the format for to be filled with the project idea, and to upload it to the proposal.titec@telespazio.com. This is the way to do it easy.
Sorry, Marco.
Second phase, we are going to have an evaluation process. An evaluation committee is already been established. It is composed of a representative from Telespazio Group, which means Telespazio SPA, but also the legal entities that are part of Telespazio Group. Representative from Leonardo SPA, it will be Pierpaolo. Representative from Italian Space Agency, from European Space Agency, as well as from the United Arab Emirates, particularly from the guest we had this morning. There will be a down selection, a short list, and the ones which will be selected will have a pitch competition, particularly in the days between the 24th and the 26th of December. And the third phase foresees actually an award ceremony, which will occur, let me say, in a private approach first, and then the official award that will occur here again in Dubai, December the 16th. There will be 3 winners, actually, but also 4 special mentions. Currently, we think of referring to the ideas which were more innovative in the 4 different technological themes, but we keep the flexibility for design like that. So again, the approach is simple: to download the format, to fill it, to prepare a PowerPoint presentation for the pitch, and send everything to the address we mentioned. That's all.
That's all. Thank you, Marco. Thank you for the details. I have to say that after this roundtable, there will be a Q&A session with all the guests. So stay with us. Stay with us online too. Massimo, next question is for you. What is the importance of an initiative like TEC from the point of view of your company, Thales Alenia Space?
Thank you, Emilio. I think that already Luigi and Marco go through the multi-dimension and the multidisciplinarity of innovation in space. So a space system is composed by different parts, something that is flying around, which is the space infrastructure, satellite, modules, all the ground infrastructure to communicate with those objects. And then, of course, quite an emerging field of services, application, and downstream. Of course, we cannot segregate innovation just in one part. So we need to go through all over the value chain, from the conception of the space infrastructure for the future, a new satellite to communicate, new constellations or mega constellations, new way to observe the Earth, why not, new missions, probes, and modules to explore the solar system, back to the moon, Mars, and so on. And we cannot limit that just to conceive how to design a new space onboard system. We need to think, okay, what's next? How this hardware that will fly will be useful for the purpose that we're going to launch, which seems quite a simple concept, but it's not. Because for many years, there was a so-called technology push. So the space technologies were pushed ahead to prove what we can do. Now, I think we fully understand what is the power, what is the importance, and what is the relevance of space infrastructures for our daily life, for our economies, for our enterprises, for our planet. So we need to think, okay, how I'm going to build this new space asset to deliver services, to make this asset usable for the purpose that we launch. So I think this is an element of how innovation must be open in different dimensions, open across the value chain, open across a vertical axis, which is to embrace, and Pierpaolo gave a snapshot of that, to embrace together with the large space companies wherever they are, in the upstream and the downstream, midstream, new ventures, innovative startups, small, medium enterprises, and of course, I'm sure that Michel will go through that. All of that is fed by the competence and the skill that academic institutions, research centers put in action in space. So this is at the end the reason why we call open innovation. Sometimes over the time, something which is quite, we try to do since years, we invent new names. At the end, it's just an ecosystem, put together the competence and the skills over the different readiness level. We can have open innovation at low TRL because we have an emerging technologies that most likely will see the light in a mission 10 years ahead, or we could have an innovation on new processes that is going to use maybe next weeks to design the new missions. So I think this is the purpose, to have an open innovation, and I think it's also extremely important that Telespazio, which is a service-driven company, drives this kind of paradigm.
Thank you Massimo, I agree. Michel, you're a TEC winner. Would you like to tell us more about that and what led to that victory?
Yeah, so thanks and good morning to everybody and for inviting me. It is a pleasure to be here and give my witness on the topic. And I would say that, yes, not me, so the students of mine, actually they were a team of PhDs. They won the first edition in one of the classes that were active at that time. And I would just spend a word on what has been said so far. It has been underlined how it is important innovation in space, because we are talking about space, but in general. And if I may, I would say that from my point of view as a professor, that I have the privilege to have contacts with companies and contacts with students, of course, I think that innovation has two main ingredients. One is the stays in the competences and skills, and the other one that is quite important stays in the foresight, in the open mind, in the creativity and enthusiasm. And if we look at the two domains that we have in our hands also on this stage, I would say the first stays in those that are capable to make dreams real, so companies and industries. But the latter, so the open minds, that thinking out of the box, having no constraints, stays in the young people. And this is the universities, schools, and all of that. So I would say that this was the ingredient that allows us to win. So these two ingredients are fundamental to build the ring Massimo was talking about as a value chain. So everybody shall stays in this chain, and this, let's say, this contest is a great opportunity to build this ring strongly. And if I can spend another word on that, the fact that we won, of course, the competition was really hard and tight, as far as I remember. But this gave also the opportunity to keep on going. It was not just a stop winning some money, that guys are always happy to have some money to spend, of course, for their fun and free time. But there was a story growing up, and now we built the path for collaboration. We are working on teams that are nearby the topic we won with the Telespazio, and so there is a history that is ongoing from there, born there, but still alive. So really a great opportunity, and I suggest to apply largely.
I'll stay with you, Michel. How important are initiatives like TEC to innovation, particularly for a university or a small company, a small business?
Again, I think they are fundamental because in my small experience of professional life, I would say that to be creative, to think really out of the box, out of the scheme is really important. But if you don't have an order, or if you don't have, let's say, one step by another put in line with the competences, the skill, the richness of the experience of the old professionals, this is, I would say, bubbles in the air and disappears. So the link with the industry that has the history and the competences in how to make dreams becoming something real, working, and useful is fundamental. And therefore, this is the role of this kind of contest, the link between the two. I'm really in favor of that.
Thank you, Michel. Thank you, Michel. Marco, as I said before, Telespazio has always been an innovator, including with TEC. What are the challenges of the future?
Well, let's say, Emilio, the answer is easy because the four themes that we are going to address with our TEC, which again are the themes of the Space Week, in my opinion, are the most important challenges for space industry in general, and so for both the manufacturing side, but also the space service provisioning side. So we could talk hours about them, but let's go very quickly once again through them. So we mentioned geoinformation, we mentioned the service platforms and the applications. It is clear that nowadays geoinformation all over the world, limiting the word to the Earth, okay, is having a real impulse. The applicability of geoinformation is so wide. We take into account the monitoring of infrastructure, the monitoring of the status of forest, of course, possibility of fires to monitor the oceans, to detect some problems along the borders. So the applicability is really wide. Taking into account that the digital twin approach is going to support a lot additional applications to be developed, particularly for what concerns the environmental, the monitoring of the environment and the climate change. So this is an aspect that we expect to be a challenge, but also an area of strong development. Yeah. Let's move to in-orbit servicing. It is clear that there is a new focus concerning what we can do in the closed space in order to optimize the resources that we already have. We know that nowadays it happens more and more that the satellites, as they are manufactured, have a really long life. And sometimes their status, I mean, the different subsystems are in good health, but just the fuel is over. So starting from refueling, but also having in mind the possibility to extend the lifetime of the assets, there are services that, of course, all the community is thinking about. Of course, there is the need to foresee how to reach the satellites and how to operate on them. So the manufacturer company is going to work together with the service providers in order to foresee how these opportunities and these activities could be performed. Space situation awareness and space traffic management. We already said that this is the opposite side of the space democratization. We know that the closed orbit are going to be crowded, so it is clear that to improve the knowledge and to classify the objects which are orbiting, either coming from past satellites or just debris of different nature, is of fundamental importance in order to optimize the utilization of the closed space, the near space. And of course, it is important to improve the operations in orbit in order to avoid these activities. There are also intelligence activities that can be handled in this way. So it is clear that this technological theme is also related to in-orbit services. And then the last one, I mean, is the space exploration, which is probably our most favorite theme during these periods. You know that this year, actually, Telespazio was awarded from ESA with a contract for the Moonlight program. The program foresees the study, the development, and the implementation of a satellite system around the moon to provide telecommunication and navigation services. So this is a fundamental step in the utilization of the space. We already had the opportunity also with Michelle to talk about which is the reason why such solutions are important and are key. There are about 100 missions which are foreseen in the next decade to be operating on the lunar surface. And so even before thinking about the new presence of astronauts over there, it is important that the robots and the different automatic equipment can be lunar located actually in a proper way, and of course be connected to the Earth or to the Gateway station.
Yeah. Massimo, same question for you. What are the future challenges in space?
When you start this session, Emilio, you recall Telespazio anniversary, the 60 years, so Telespazio born in 61.
Yes.
And also the work and the space technology in Italy is quite long-standing. So look into the futures. We cannot forget what was the past path. And why I say that, mentioning what is the future for instance, for space exploration? Because the country, Italy, not only launched as a third country satellite, an artificial satellite in orbit, but just an example, build up more than 50% of the pressurized module in the space station, so the environment where the astronauts can live and can support human space flight and can live in microgravity. And why I mention that? Because look into the future of the exploration. This is a basic technology. I mean, unfortunately, unless some visionary people, which is also having a lot of success today, telling that, okay, we're going to send to Mars a number of bombs, and so we have a terraforming, but we need, instead, the pressurized modules to make possible the astronauts living on the planet. So back to the moon, I always said, it's not just to have a long weekend. Back to the moon means to work on the planet, learn ourselves how we can cooperate, the men, the astronauts, and the machines, rovers, robots, and then understand if it will be possible sometime in the future to build up something on the planet, not necessarily brings all from Earth. So this is a kind of, let's say, high-level vision. So what does it mean? It means that we need to have a kind of logistic support. If we imagine that we are going back and forward to the moon, not always we can start from Earth and go to the moon, but we could have a station, and Marco mentioned the Lunar Gateway, that is in the cislunar orbit, so close to the moon, where we can have a kind of back and forward. And we're working on it. We start through the contribution of the Italian Space Agency, through the European Space Agency angle, to build up one of the most important modules, what we call international habitat, is the place in the Lunar Gateway where up to 4 astronauts can live. Then we are working on another module, which is Esprit, with the pressurized tunnel. And then we are working on another module, which is the Halo, in a B2B with US, with Northrop Grumman. So also in the station around the moon, on the Gateway, we want to keep our goal to be a nation that contribute to build up the majority of these stations. And then, of course, let's say, what is the next step? How we can use this technology to have kind of lunar foundation habitat, start to live on those models. It's not enough, because you need to protect the astronauts from radiation, you need to protect the astronauts from an environment which is much more harsh to orbit around the moon. So what I mean is that, and then of course, as soon as you will have men on the planet, rovers on the planet, machines that will help, let's say, for instance, to build up some shield for the radiation, we need all those objects and men communicate among themselves, and of course have a direct communication through the Lunar Gateway, Earth, and so on. So also in terms of communication, and Marco mentioned Moonlight, we need to build up in the coming years the infrastructure that will help all of that. So looking to the future, I think that we have a phase where, exactly in line with the first part of the discussion, we still need to build the infrastructure, but having in mind that the infrastructure conceived now, what are the services that will help to do and to enable what we are talking about. So I think that in the next phase, we will have, I don't know how many years, 3, 4, 5, 10. I mean, looking to the end of the decade, we need to build up those infrastructure to live on the planet, to communicate, why not, to observe and to explore the planet starting from a point. And then, of course, as we said, since now it's essential to conceive what would be the services, including the commercial one. And this is because, and this is my last message, of course, all of that is still highly institutional based. We have the investment of large space agencies, and I think we are in a country that, glad, it's really opening on this new frontier, but there is another frontier, which is the commercial exploitation. Not by chance, we start to build up a first pressurized module for a commercial space station, a station that will be built based on a business plan of companies, enterprises, will go there, will operate for a few weeks or months in a microgravity, and they will pay for that. So I think this is just a quick snapshot of what the future will bring us. Then maybe we could need, I don't know how many forums to talk a little bit more in depth.
Thank you, Massimo. Last question for you, Paolo. TEC aside, does Leonardo have any other similar initiatives?
Well, we have several initiatives. Of course, as I told you at the beginning, you need to have a strategy behind it. So our strategy is to try to understand which is the best target for our initiative. Is internal. As I told you, 50,000 guys and girls means a huge knowledge. Or you need to look at the external world, like Michel just said. And moreover, you need to see which is your target in terms of field of application. Are you seeking for young talent? So there are several initiatives that we did in the last years and will do in 2022. Or you're looking for technologies like TEC or application or business, new business. This is just a few of our initiatives. Of course, I will not go all of these because it will be boring. But I just want to give a short snapshot of the last initiative that we launched just last week. It's called Solver Wanted. It's a Leonardo platform in which we post some challenges and we ask to all the external world to give us some feedback in terms of solution, in terms of ideas. We divide it in two different streams. The first one is Accelerate. This is dedicated to low TRL topic, so it means TRL up from 1 up to 3, 4. And the first challenge is on quantum technologies. The second stream is Boost Leonardo solution. It means that we are looking for something that is more mature. So our target in this case are startups, university spin-off, and so on. And the moment we have posed the first two challenges, these are part performance monitoring in order to evaluate with different solutions, can be hardware, can be software, algorithms, doesn't matter, how we can monitor the status of our pilot or maintenance man and so on, or molecular depth estimation. This is still related to startups. What we give to the winner of this challenge, of course, a contract, in order to make a proof of concept if we are talking with startups, or in case we are talking with a university or research center, is a contract to make a feasibility study. Because we need to see if their solution can be applied to our domain. Not all works, but we need to test, we need to de-risk their solution. And only if we try and try and try, we can get some value. This is the first three challenges. In 2022, we have already defined other challenges. Some will have a short time in order to answer. It can be 1 month, no more. In the other case, will be open challenge. So it doesn't matter when you submit your proposal, we are still always open-minded in order to get different ideas. And I want just to conclude with, I love this African proverb that is said that the youth run fast, while the elder knows the road. In some case, we are the elder, in some case, we have the youth, but only these two guys, youth and elder, can reach a goal.
Thank you, Paolo. Stay with me on stage. Before saying farewell to my guest, any questions from the audience? No? So, let's move on to a few questions. Oh, a question, no. Let's move on to a few questions collected online, Marco.
Yes, actually, as pointed out, since we have a web address where to send questions, we already collected some of them during the last days. So there are some of them that I've here reported because they can be of interest for everybody. Okay, I'll go very quickly through them. A question was, my colleagues and I would like to participate to TEC contest. We graduated a few years ago, so we are no more students, but not even a PhD or a researcher. Can we take part in the contest? So the answer is yes, provided that the person goes back and contacts one of his past professors or however professor of a university that is interested to participate. So the professor will arrange the team and he can participate in proposing an idea. There is another question, but you already provided the answer to that concerning whether it is possible to participate in group or not. Okay. Then, can I present more than one project? Okay. Now, the single department can participate with more than one project, but with different participants, a different team leader. Yeah. And this is important. It is also important that the team leader will always be a student and not the teacher, as Michelle was pointing out when she and her team was awarded. One last important question is, I was wondering whether the 4 proposed technological themes could be developed freely, or there are specific issues to address or guidelines to follow. The answer is there is no specific constraint. There is also the possibility to propose subjects that are cross themes and no specific limitation in terms of the maturity of the idea. What is important is the innovation content, how much it fits with the strategy of the company, and last but not least, to give a clear idea of what is the economic impact and the economic constraints. This is important because sometimes students are so keen about the technology and they forget about the sustainability. And we said that sustainability is fundamental in the space, also if we want to go back to the moon.
Thank you Marco, thank you Michelle, thank you Marco, thank you Massimo, thank you Pierpaolo. Davvero, grazie. The appointment with you and with TEC is in near future. Thank you, thank you. Oops. So, we have come to the end of this panel. Before I say farewell, I would like to thank Leonardo and Telespazio who organized TEC and this meeting. I think it's important because as I said, today dealing with space, it's our future. And a sustainable tomorrow that must be built today. For this reason, I say see you very soon, this afternoon, and in the meantime, per aspera ad astra. Thank you.
Next coming.